Today's video is going to be about pushing film and developing that film. So when you order film, most of it's 400, 200, the different ISOs, 3200. So my go-to film is the Kodak Tri-x 400. This has been my go-to since I started shooting film, and I push it to 1600, so that's 2 stops. So it goes 800 and 1600, and what I find most about it is that if you push it right or develop it the right way, you're gonna get pretty great results. A lot of people say that, oh, you lose detail in the shadows, or it's not as sharp. Yeah, from shooting it at box speed, but getting that look or that aesthetic, it adds more contrast, and that's kind of what I like. That's why I love moody, dark, contrast photos. So yeah, I'll shoot 400, but the majority of my rolls are shot at 1600. So today's video is going to be shooting, pushing that film. So what happens when you push film, you're gonna take more time. Shoot this at 400 with the chemicals I have. Box speed would be like 6 minutes, and I'll explain later when we develop. And pushing this to 1600 takes about 13.5 minutes, so double the time. I'll go through and tell you guys like the chemicals, what you need, the ratio, and show you guys everything. So it's the Patterson tank that I use. We got 2 rolls, so 2 rolls at a time. So when you shoot, like I said, pushing, so don't shoot a 400 roll and then a 1600 roll and throw them both in there. You gotta keep the same 2 together. And I use Kodak Professional T-Max Developer. This one is the 1 liter that makes 5 liters. So all of it, I'll have a link below, kind of get you guys started with what chemicals you need and the gear and equipment. But like I said, it's not a lot. So once you have it, buying the chemicals and kind of depending how much you're shooting and developing goes a long way. And it takes a little time, but it's it's your work. It's worth it. And yeah, let's get started. Developer, our stop bath, our fix, and our permawash. So film is very, very sensitive to the temperature and time when you're developing. I like T-Max because it's liquid, you get everything. It's a 1:4 ratio, so you're gonna need your 20 ounces. All of these are 20 ounces, and all the directions in the bottle are very simple of how many liters you want is the ratio you're gonna get out of it. So right now I develop, I'll post a chart, link that has the chart of what kind of film you're using, what kind of developer you're using, and the time. So this one's going to be 20 degrees Celsius right now. I'm a little right under that, so I got a little hot water. I'm going to set it in there and get it to where it needs to be. So just push that in there, and you want to constantly spin so it gets evenly distributed. And it's a lot easier to warm up developer than it is to cool it down. So if you have it stored in a very hot place, getting it down to where it needs to be can be really tricky, or it just takes a lot longer. Sometimes I'll just stick it in the fridge if it's really off, and that helps get to it, and then put it like in that same thing but with ice. Right now we're sitting right at 20 degrees. Gonna make sure it's consistent, doesn't get any hotter. So like I said, the key to this is temperature and time. So we're all set, and like I said, this is going to be at push to 1600. So we're going to be doing it at 13.5 minutes. And just drop in the developer. And for the first 30 seconds, you want constant agitation. But it's not, you don't have to be crazy. Let me start. You don't have to be crazy with it, and the more you shake it, you know, the more blown out the grain is going to be. You're already pushing it. So the good thing about shooting at 400 or 100 is less grain. I kind of like some grit, and what I like about this process is that even though you are pushing it, just go slow with it. Go slow with the agitation. Let it sit. So for the first 30 seconds, I said you're gonna get constant agitation like that, and then after every 30 seconds, you're just gonna move it like once, one rotation. So just keep your eye on the timer and go for it. But what I like about, like I said, going slow is that you're still gonna get a sharp image. There's still gonna be that grain. And yeah, if you put 400 and that's next to each other, you can do the same manipulations. It's not super blown out, like the grain's not going to be a distraction. It's more, you see it for what it is. And that's what I really like about it. So yeah, I'm gonna finish developing this because we got a ways to go. So I just developed for the 13.5 minutes, and then as soon as that's over, pour directly back into you know, your developer can, because you can still use that developer to keep filming, or to keep developing. And then you're gonna do your stop bath, dump that into here, and that's gonna be 30 seconds of just constant agitation. Do that, solid, drop it back in here, and then what we're doing now is fixing. So that's gonna be a 5-minute fix, and then again, everything, that first 30 seconds is constant agitation. And after that, it's every 30 seconds, just a small shake like I just did, every 30 seconds for the remainder of 5 minutes. And then the next step is going to be the perma wash. What this does, it helps clean off a lot of these chemicals. So if you just went from fix to rinse, you're going to be there, you're really going to want to wash it really long. So having the perma wash, this stuff lasts a long ways. You think it's 3 ounces for a whole gallon of water. And this last step is just going to be 3 minutes. Same thing, constant agitation first 30 seconds, and then finish it out with agitate every 30 seconds. And yeah, so that perma wash helps clear off all these chemicals. So when you do go rinse, reduces the rinse time a lot. But I still like to rinse for like 15-20 minutes just to get it going. Make sure there's nothing left, so it lasts for a very long time. But alright, I'm going to finish this out, and then we'll rinse it, and then I'll show you guys what the next steps are. Then after you rinse, I do add the photo flow. So this solution, you're just going to need a capful. So just put a little bit, pour it in there. And for about like 10 or 15 solid dips, this is gonna help keep all the water stains off. So once you do it, it's gonna make a lot of bubbles. Just kind of flick it out, scoop it up, come in, push, and yeah, just repeat that process. I use this personal closet to dry my film, so it's not hanging in the bathroom and it's still wet, so you don't want any dust or anything landing on it. And I just use clothespins to hang up on the coat hanger, and then I'll put these two in the bottom to keep it straight, to keep the film from curling. So yeah, I just seal it up and I let it dry overnight, and in the morning I'll clean it, cut it, put it in its sleeves in the appropriate binder, and scan it. And that'll be another video of how I do quick scanning, nothing elaborate, but